Hi, let's revisit Cosmos, ticker symbol ATOM, ATOM, currently at almost $40, market rank 23 with a market cap of almost 9 billion. Now Cosmos is really on a rally over here. Since the 20th of July, we more than 3x'd, and even versus Ethereum that looks pretty impressive, 170% outperformance. Now the trend lines you see over here are from the last Cosmos Atom video, and here's just another trend line. I don't want to give too harsh of a stance over here, but I simply let the chart speak and I point out a few patterns that might be of interest for you. The first pattern I find interesting is trading volume. Look for example at this peak over here on the 24th of August. Let's zoom in a little. We saw that on the 23rd of August, not on the 24th, the price was very elevated obviously, but trading volume was very high as well. And so then once trading volume went down again, attention went down, the price also tended to fall. This is again the relative performance to Ethereum. I don't like to look too much at the US dollar chart, even though a lot of people like to look at them. But the problem with those charts here is that there's a lot of cross correlation happening, right? Basically every altcoin is rallying recently. And so it doesn't really give any impression of what altcoin to really invest in. Does it really make sense to take the additional risk versus Ethereum or versus Bitcoin to get into a smaller altcoin? You really want to look at relative performance. And so over the very long term, at least if you want to call this very long term, since May of 2019, Cosmos Atom is not yet outperforming Ethereum. Now this can obviously change, but the thing to watch out for is always a tension spike. So the 23rd of August was a dangerous place to be in. If we look at trading volume further, let's maybe get this in a separate region of the chart. Another trading spike was on the 15th of January. So let's zoom in there. We didn't directly bleed afterwards, but it was definitely not the very best time to buy, right? We went down another 18% afterwards. And so simply look out for this. Being high on this trend channel coupled with high trading volume doesn't seem to be the perfect recipe to create outperformance. And so what did we see recently? Again, elevated trading volume, and we are high on this trend channel. Now make of this whatever you want to make of this, right? This is only the technicals. This is not fundamental analysis at all. There's obviously also a fundamental reason for such an outperformance versus Ethereum. I mean, we are looking here at 170%. And so just decide for yourself, if you are in Cosmos Atom or if you're considering to buy it, what's your overall strategy? Are you trying to ride this wave and maybe set a stop loss and have a certain risk versus a potentially higher reward? Or are you simply investing for the very long term? Then you need to have a case of why this trend over here should turn around. So ideally you have a fundamental explanation why it did not outperform in the first place, and then why this reason is not valid anymore going forward. So it does make sense to have a real thesis around something if you're investing for many months or even many years. Now, if you're looking for a short-term speculation, one way to find a potential stop loss is by using moving averages. So you click on F, you enter moving average, you add this to the chart. Let's make this a bit more visible. And then what you can do is try to find the moving average duration that distinguishes the bullish momentum from the negative momentum relatively well. So here we've got a lot of noise around the moving average, so this moving average is too short. But what you can do is to simply increase the length. So you've got the length over here, and then you can simply increase this. And by doing this, you could have a trading strategy such as entering over here and then exiting over here. So you can see that after this rally, the momentum shifted once we crossed the moving average. If you want to be even more conservative, you could increase this moving average even further, something like that. And so this way, the strategy is obviously not perfect, but this way you can somehow distill and be outside of the market if you're actively trading during those movements where we go down by say 60%, or in this case 53%. You can avoid this somehow. Watch your trading costs though, right? So probably you want to do this on a centralized exchange to reduce trading costs. And you can also use this to find stop losses. So the problem obviously is that this value changes all the time, right? You can just guesstimate this maybe by drawing something like that and then figure out your potential risk versus whatever your planned reward is. So let's say your trade is that we're going to move up again to this kind of level. So you would have a potential risk of say 20% or so versus a reward of say 90%. So this could be one approach, but the problem is really you can't really set such a stop loss easily. But what you can do is to set an alert. So you can click over here to alerts in TradingView, and you can set the condition that the moving average, so in this case we now picked the 52-day moving average, you can set the condition that the relative price crosses the 52-day moving average. And once that happens, then you want to get an email, for example. You could also trigger an API if you've got some kind of API integration to automatically trigger the sale, or simply get an email. And once you get that email, then you can decide whether or not you want to sell the asset. So that's one way to monitor this, because it's pretty hard to keep track of all of these altcoins, right? And if you have notifications, that's a better way to be quickly reactive. Now I want to give one last view on the overall crypto market right now. I personally think that Ethereum leads the altcoin market. It's probably not Bitcoin, what most people say. And that's because Bitcoin isn't as highly correlated to altcoins than Ethereum is. Ethereum has an average correlation to the altcoins of around 0.65%. Bitcoin only has one of 0.6%. So the average correlation to altcoins of Bitcoin is as high as Cardano. And you'll probably never consider using Cardano as the proxy for figuring out, are we in an altcoin market? Are we in an altcoin rally? Yes or no. But the proxy, the fit, statistically speaking, how much do those assets move in tandem? They are the same for Bitcoin and Cardano. But it looks much better for Ethereum. So Ethereum is closer in terms of mimicking altcoin performance than Bitcoin is. The correlation is higher. And so for me personally, to determine should we trade altcoins, should we be active and heavy on altcoins, is heavily dependent on where I see Ethereum is going. And so I need to have an opinion on this. I personally am relatively bullish right now. And that's because we are able to hold the line here above two moving averages, the 23 and the 39-day moving average. We are able to stay above those two moving averages. And when you backtest a strategy that checks the predictive power of moving averages, you find out that those two moving averages, the 23 and the 39-day moving average, work the best. There are separate videos regarding the strategy on this channel. So I'm just giving a quick recap. So this is the strategy. The price is below the moving average. We are in cash. The price is above the moving average. We follow the price movements. This is Ethereum. So this is a portfolio line, 23 moving average. It looks pretty nice. This is for the 39-day moving average. So those two moving average strategies, they seem to work quite well. And if you look at moving average trading strategies in general, they seem to be outperforming just buying and holding Ethereum in general. So using moving averages for trading Ethereum seems to be a profitable approach. Following momentum seems to work. And so the best moving averages that I could find were those two, 23 and 39. And so we are still able to stay above them. And so I personally, I'm still bullish. So I think it does make sense to take some risky bets, at least if we don't fall another 7 or 8% and close a day in this area. If it makes sense to take such a trade though, I leave this completely up to you. I personally find this a little bit too dangerous, but obviously this is also just an opinion. I might be completely wrong, especially if the fundamental reasons, they now scream to go into Cosmos Atom, then by all means, either decide to invest in this long term and not look at the price every day, or make a trade that is very well balanced in terms of risk versus reward. So have a real strategy to enter and exit the market. If you enjoyed this video, please give this a like. YouTube will then help to grow the channel. And if you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe as well. I publish a video every single day. Last but not least, we've got a Telegram channel. Would be great to see you there. We are almost 700 people now in the Bitcoin strategy channel. You can find us by either clicking the link in the video description or simply by searching for Bitcoin strategy channel within the Telegram app. There's also a video announcement channel. Feel free to add this to your Telegram chats as well. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.